I'll call the meeting to order, and I will ask you to stand for the Indigenous land acknowledgement and the national anthem. Thank you.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
National anthem. Please be seated. Thank you very much for coming, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an interesting meeting to deal with tonight, which is not unusual. And we're going to start out with, I'm going to ask Chief Whalen and Deputy Chief Caddick to please come up here. And we've got some long service medals to present to many of our firefighters who on a regular basis train, and they're ready to respond to situations that are in many cases far beyond what you and I could ever expect them to do. So I thank you very much for the long years that you've been with us, the dedication and commitment. Chief?
Thank you, Your Worship, council members, senior staff, members of the public, and folks at home that are live streaming, and especially our firefighters here. Welcome. Yeah, it's a special night for us. We've got awards tonight: long service, federal 20-year, and provincial 25-year. And we're going to give those medals out tonight. Before we do that, on behalf of Deputy Caddick, myself, and our career and volunteer firefighters, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Mayor and Council for all your support. We really have the best equipment, and there's not one issue or one incident that we can't handle with. And thanks again for all your support. And Councilor McHugh, how many years, did you put on our department?
41, Chief.
41 years, yes. So let's have a round of applause.
I'd rather they throw money.
And before we go into the presentations, I have a short video that we like to play, and we're actually working on a new one, Your Worship. This one ended up in COVID times. And before we do that, I want to introduce Reverend Gail Conrick. She's a big part of our department too. And the woman beside her, Betty Klaus, she's one of our biggest fans. She's always bringing treats in the fire hall, and I think that's why my tunic's a little tight, Betty, but thank you anyway. I know. I have no willpower. Okay, Tess, if you want to play that a short video, and then we're going to carry on with our presentations. Thank you.
Only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Call me baby if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Come on, come on, come on. Reaching out to you, so take a chance. No matter where you go, no, you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Come along with me and don't be scared. I just wanna set you free. Come on, come on, come on. You and me can make it anywhere. But for now, we can stay here for a while. 'Cause you know, I just wanna see you smile. No matter where you go, you know you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. And when you're weak, I'll be strong. I'm gonna keep holding on. Now don't you worry, it won't be long, darling. And when you feel like hope is gone, just run into my arms. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. I'm only one call away. Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time. We got
That's fine, Tessa, thanks. And then unfortunately, we're going to have to add Chuck Nathan to our fallen on our next video. So, Your Worship, we'll carry on here. If you'd like to say a few words, and then we'll give out some medals. You sure? Okay. Okay, first of all, again, as you can tell, our fire service, we're like a family. So I see that our members all brought family members tonight, so that's great. So our first recipient is Captain Jay Coxwell, and he's getting his federal medal, exemplary medal. That's 20 years, and I see his wife Tash is here, and Reed, and I know it's Hallie, not Haley, right? Hallie, you want to stand up? Stand up, Hallie. And Karen is mother. Where are you guys? And Brian. And Brian's a retired. There, Brian's a retired firefighter. And Jay's sister Lisa, and everybody knows Jay's sister Lori over there. So, congratulations, Captain Coxwell.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, and Fire Service Exemplary Service Medal presented to Jay Coxwell in recognition of 20 years dedicated service to fire emergency services within Canada, awarded by the Office of the Secretary to the Governor General, presented by the Corporation.
Use the mic, Mr. Mayor, we can't hear you.
Sorry, give me the mic. Thank you. Sorry about that. This is Fire Service Exemplary Service Medal presented to Jay Coxwell in recognition of 20 years dedicated service to fire emergency services within Canada, awarded by the Office of the Secretary to the Governor General, presented by the Corporation of the City of Quinte West. Congratulations, Jay, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian wants one. I don't know who. Does he know you, Jay? Or?
Yeah.
Our next recipient, he's not here, he's out of the country, but Captain Ross Elson, and we've got his certificate and medal at the Station 1. Anyway, Ross, 25 years. Next, we have Acting Captain Adam Fournier with a provincial medal, 25 years service. And I see his wife Marissa's here, and his mother Barb, and our retired commander, Roger Fournier. Thanks for coming, Roger. Barb.
The Fire Service's Long Service Medal is hereby presented to Adam Fournier in sincere appreciation of 25 years of courageous and dedicated service to the residents of Ontario, protecting their lives and property from fire. Congratulations, sir.
Next, we have our Senior Fire Prevention Officer, Greg King, with a federal medal, 20 years. And as everyone knows, Greg, he's our captain of our fire fit and travels all over and does a great job for us. His parents are here tonight, Gerald and Sylvia. A lot of people will know them. Welcome.
This is Fire Service Exemplary Service Medal presented to Greg King in recognition of 20 years dedicated service to fire emergency services within Canada, awarded by the Office of the Secretary to the Governor General, presented by the Corporation of the City of Quinte West. Congratulations, Greg, and thank you.
And our last recipient is Acting Captain Ryan McNaught, Provincial Medal, 25 year. And he's brought a whole gang with him tonight, so I'm glad I made some notes. I know his father Alan's here, his mother Fran. We've got his girlfriend Christina. And, oh, Eli's here. He was at the station earlier. Hi, Eli. And Christina's boys, Bryson, and Devin.
Fire Service's Long Service Medal is hereby awarded to Ryan McNaught in sincere appreciation of 25 years of courageous and dedicated service to the residents of Ontario, protecting their lives and property from fire. Congratulations, sir. All the apologies.
Thank you.
Just before we leave this, I'm going to ask council members if you'd like to make a comment. I think that this certainly is so important to us and so recognizable. I'll start with Councillor Boyce, coming this way.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I'm certainly proud of Quinte West Fire Department. I know a couple of the guys. I'm looking forward to at one time or another playing pickleball with a couple of the individuals and chatting, and so I want to congratulate every one of you on your years of service.
Thank you. Coming this way, Councillor Sharon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to all of the firefighters. And I think the video put into it's worth a million words, those pictures. It was very emotional, and to see the bravery that you go into, whether it's water or a barn or a car accident on 401 or taking someone, you're saving lives. Very thankful and appreciate all of you for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Councillor Mike Katsovas, and then I'm sorry, Zach, but Michael?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, thank you to each and every one of you for the outstanding jobs you perform. You risk your lives every day, and I just want to congratulate you. It's quite a milestone, and hopefully the next generation reaches that same milestone and decides to stay in Quinte West.
Thank you. Councillor Freeman, Councillor Reid, which one would like to go first?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank
Councillor
you,
Freeman, go
Mr.
ahead.
Mayor, and congratulations to all of you. The amount of experience that's in that room right now tonight tells us that we're all in really good hands. We love it that you stick and stay with us, and I'm very, very proud to have been even a small part of your department. Thank you all.
Councillor Reid?
Thank you very much. I'd like to echo my congratulations as well to all the firefighters who never know what they're going to get into when they get called out on a call. But I would also like to congratulate the spouses who are at home, who support them, who worry until they come back again. It's a team effort. Firefighters and their spouses, congratulations to everyone.
Councillor Card?
Thank you, Your Worship. I also too want to congratulate everyone. One of the most difficult jobs in the world. You run toward what others run away from. It's remarkable. We have a great mixed force, and it's great to see. Also, there's a tremendous amount of volunteering and raising money in the community. I see that a lot. There's a tremendous amount of give back too that is amazing to see on top of everything else. So again, thank you for your service.
Councillor Elliott?
Thank you, Your Worship. I also want to extend my congratulations and thank you for your dedication and service. Certainly, I consider you one of the best insurance companies we have. We know that sometimes you can't always replace the structures or vehicles and that, but you're there to save the lives, and they're your replaceable parts of your job. And I know you get to see some terrible things, as Councillor Sharp has said in the video that was presented. It brings that lump in your throat, in a sense, to see what you have to deal with and how you can live with some of the thoughts and scenes you see afterwards. I really have to commend you, and I thank you for being there 24/7, 365. Thank you.
Councillor McHugh.
Thank you, Your Worship. Goes without saying, I was honored to walk with you for 41 years. I met each of the members as they were coming in. I've had the pleasure of serving with you all. You are the best. Believe me, you are the best. And as Councillor Reid echoed earlier, I'd like to echo her words with regards to the families. I want to thank you all for your unselfishness to grant the men in your lives and the women in your lives the opportunity to go and serve. I know there have been a lot of events over the years that you've missed, birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, etc. True dedication, but I think if we were giving out medals, again, if we could, each family member should get one as well, and I think you gentlemen would agree with me. So again, it's been a pleasure serving with you. I know the firsthand, the city's in good hands, and I look forward to seeing you come back and get more medals again as the time goes on. So, brothers, I love you all. Thank you.
Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks to every one of our firefighters. With so many years of service presented today, I believe it shows what a great organization it is to work for.
Thank you. Councillor Stedall.
I would like to thank everybody as well, the firefighters, for your dedication and your service and the many hours I know that you put in for your training and going into these events. Sometimes they're long hauls, and that's where I have to say thank you as well to the spouses and your families that put up with the many hours that you put in and the call-aways that you get. I think your dedication makes the community, and I know myself, feel safe, and I think that's the important part.
Councillor Armstrong.
Could I ask the kids to stand up for just a minute? The kids, the families, kids. I want them to know that your dads are superheroes. We hear a lot about the different superheroes on cartoons and stuff, but these guys, the uniform they put on is their cape, and I want you to know that, okay? You thank them every day for their heroism.
We agree. Councillor Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for your support of the community. And I just want to say that I have been a big supporter of when we had the Fire and Services Emergency Committee and here on council, if Chief Whalen needed a fire hose or a truck or air container for his men and women to do the job, that I've always been a supporter to make sure that happens, including the recent decision to get a training officer for the department. So thank you very much. Congratulations on your achievements.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, it's certainly a pleasure to present the medals to you and recognize all that you do on a regular basis. I want to also recognize Chuck Nathan, Robert Rudder, and all the different people who supported the training tower that we have in this city. That training tower is second to none. We're able to, everybody has to have a level of certification, and this is determined by the province. And we used to have to go as far away as Gravenhurst to get the courses that are required. But now, due to the work of Chuck Nathan, Robert Rudder, and Dale Milligan, a number of others, we have our own training tower and center right here. And that is great. It's also connected with Loyalist College, so whatever you achieve there, you get a recognition through the college, and that helps us. So again, and in the video you saw the helicopter as working, and that just signifies to all of us that we work together. We work together. We work with the base. We work with the police departments. We work with all other sectors. And again, thank you so much for what you do on a regular basis. We don't appreciate you until we need you. I can tell you. I lost a barn fire. I lost a barn in 2010, and I still remember. I thought my neighbor called and said it was on fire. I got up, got dressed. I thought I'd go and put it out. Yeah. All I could do is go and look at it. And until the first trucks and the firemen came, I thought I was doing okay. But once they got there, I melted right out of the picture. And again, I thank you so much because, yes, I lost a barn, but I could have lost a house. I could have lost more equipment. I could have lost a lot of things. And Councillor Elliott, he can reiterate his own story about losing a barn, but yeah, thank you very much. it just warms my heart to know we have such dedicated individuals, and Gail for support as well. So thank you. Jim, do you want to mention yours? Or?
Well, I didn't plan on it, but I know there was a certain guy just next door to me. He was the one that made me aware of the fire, and I guess maybe it was his wife that looked up across the fields and seen a glow in the sky, and then sent in the alarm. And of course, I sent it in, and it had already been phoned in by several people, but certainly Station 2 and 5 that was there with tankers, and I know Jay come along after to look at things, and I appreciate all the work, but certainly it could have been a lot worse and spread to other buildings too, and as soon as they got there, why they kept it under control, although there was a loss, but material things can be replaced and lives can't. But we, like I said earlier, we know you're there when we need you, and it's a great insurance and a great support to know you got that there, that you're just not left open with no protection at all. So thank you again all.
Thank you. Okay, did I do disclosure of pecuniary interest? Do we have any? None. Declare that closed. I need approval of the agenda. Councillor McHugh, seconded by Councillor Sharp. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 13th, 2023 be approved. Councillor McHugh moved it, seconded by Councillor Card. Questions or comments on the minutes? All in favor? Thank you. We've done the presentations. We're over here on the next one, and I'm going to ask Mr. Fleming to come up, and I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor O'Neill. Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Fleming. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and through you. So Council will have the report that we've submitted to Council. This is a report that stems from a complaint brought through the Office of the Integrity Commissioner. The way that I approach these reports when I present them to Council is very straightforward. My report stands on its own. I'm not here to debate the report or debate the findings of the report. I'm here to assist Council with the recommendations that are made in the report. The substance of the report itself is very straightforward. It's set out in the report. There was an incident involving the mayor. It involved words spoken that I'm not going to repeat. It's contained in the report itself. Our findings were that the actions of the mayor constituted a breach of sections 6.1 and 6.2 of the Code of Conduct. Based on our findings and our findings that there was a breach of the Code of Conduct, we are recommending to Council that you impose a penalty of a suspension of pay for 15 days and that you request an apology in public from the mayor. With respect to these recommendations are very similar to a staff recommendation that this Council will see on a daily basis. It is a recommendation from myself, but is a recommendation to you that you may do with as you wish. You can accept the recommendation, refuse the recommendation, or amend the recommendation. It's up to Council. I'm here tonight to speak to any questions that Council may have. I can also advise Council that notwithstanding that the recommendation is for a financial sanction, which would otherwise be a pecuniary interest for the mayor, there is an exception in the Act that allows the mayor to speak to the matter of penalty if the mayor chooses to do so. So I'm not suggesting how to run the meeting, Mr. Chairman, but I do want to ensure that Council appreciates that should His Worship elect to make a statement with respect to penalty, that is allowed for under the legislation. I'm happy to take questions, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Councillor Boyce, please.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. Thank you for coming today. I've got 4 questions I'd like to ask you. The first one is just simply about the process. 9 months from when your office started to investigate, I believe that was April 11th, do these processes generally take so long to come to completion, or was this an unusual case?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, you'll see at page 2 of the report, we've set out a timeline, and I did that specifically because this is a longer time to undertake this kind of investigation than we would normally see, and you can see with the breakdown in the timeline how that time was spent. There were certainly some delays. We granted some extensions and so on, but it's important to appreciate that it's necessary for fairness to everyone involved in the process that we allow this to unfold and give people the time they need to properly respond. So to answer your question, no, it's not usual that it would take this long, but in these circumstances, it is a reasonable amount of time.
Okay. My second question is that I certainly understand that council's role is to accept or deny the recommendations or make other recommendations, but the investigative process and the findings isn't part of council's decision. Can you tell me if you used, was it yourself that did the investigation, or did you use any assistance from an investigator at all from your office?
I relied, through you, Mr. Chair, I relied on one of my associate lawyers. Okay. I do that with most of my investigations, quite frankly, because her hourly rate is much less than my hourly rate, so it's a benefit to the municipality. She's a very experienced legal counsel. She did the interviews, but I was supervising throughout the process, and this is very much my report.
Oh, okay. And my next question is, in determining your recommendation for a formal apology and loss of 2 weeks' pay, was there any precedent used by your office in determining that recommendation?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, the Integrity Commissioner process, as you can appreciate, has only existed as a mandatory process since 2019. Yeah. The decisions of Integrity Commissioners generally are not published, and those decisions that are published or unpublished aren't binding on Integrity Commissioners. I don't typically rely on other decisions because it doesn't create a precedent the way a legal decision would through judges, because that body of case law is developed over a very long period of time applying defined factors. There is no guidance in the legislation. What I do when I'm looking at penalty is to consider the seriousness of the breach, the circumstances of the breach, and to consider what's an appropriate penalty in those particular circumstances. So to look at other cases, it's very difficult to find an apples to apples comparison. I'm really looking at the question that's, I guess it's in 2 parts. First of all, what is an appropriate sentence or penalty, I guess is a better way to put it, in my opinion, that will demonstrate to the member of council who's in breach that it is inappropriate behavior and send a message of deterrence. And then the second question that I look at is what's an appropriate penalty that will indicate to other members of council as well as the complainant and the public that this council takes these matters seriously and doesn't condone the behavior. So those are the factors that I look at in coming to the recommendation before you.
And you mentioned that it was an unusual case and it was rather lengthy. Did your office or yourself attempt to act in as a mediator or a conciliator to set up a meeting so it could have been resolved before this time?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the process that we undertake during the investigation. The Municipal Act is clear that I'm required by the Act to keep that process confidential.
Okay. And I guess my final question is a question that's been asked by numerous citizens in the community. And I know your bill isn't complete, but what kind of for this investigation, what are we expecting to receive as a bill?
I wasn't expecting that question, Mr. Chairman. I don't have that number, but that number will be available through the clerk's office.
But is it safe to assume it's say under 5,000 or over 5,000? And
I would suspect over, but again, I don't have the number at the tip of my finger.
10,000? Like you must have a ballpark estimate based on that I know you'd be keeping hours.
This is not going to satisfy council, but I have 80 Integrity Commissioner municipality clients.
Yeah.
I send out probably 130 invoices a month, every month. I can't keep track of those numbers, but I could certainly undertake to provide that to council through the clerk, or if, or how you'd like to do it. I just don't have the answer, and I don't want to say it is or isn't below or above 10,000. I just don't know the answer, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I want to make.
Thank you.
I guess finally, may I make one comment before you go on to the next?
Go ahead.
Finally, I want to say publicly to His Worship that I truly believe that it would be beneficial as the head of council not to have councillors vote necessarily on the recommendation. During the last 10 months, this council has worked together under your leadership to achieve many things. In my opinion, a vote would or could cause divisiveness, which would have a negative effect on the way we've been working together for the betterment of Quinte West. I would ask that you show leadership, Your Worship, and accept the recommendations before we go to a vote in order that we can move on from this matter and continue to do positive things for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Harrison, would you like to
Yes,
speak?
I want to make a statement, and what I'm telling council is that I'm prepared to do what the recommendations are included in the Integrity Commission's report. I'm prepared to make an apology, and I'm prepared to pay the penalty in full. No questions asked. That's what I'm prepared to do, and so there's no voting required. You can pass the motion as such, and that's what I'm prepared to do. I have a written apology that I could read tonight, and I'm sure that the Director of Finance will look after the other part. I have faith in him.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe we all on council appreciate that move. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're going to read it down? Do you want to read your apology first?
Oh, go ahead.
Councillor Armstrong?
I'm the complainant, and I'm going to accept Mayor Harrison's words that I don't want to put him through the fire. This is a disagreement that took place. I'm sorry it took place. But in keeping with what Councillor Boyce said, I like to keep a unified front. I don't want to put anybody in a position. And I accept your apology. You don't need to read it.
Absolutely.
I have just one question. Prior. I just want to make sure that that's appropriate for what is on the agenda. The clerk is satisfied with that information to be recorded in the minutes so that we don't have any concern in the future.
Shouldn't we vote on it? Receive it as information, right?
I think, through you to council, I think at minimum, council should receive the report. In terms of voting on the actual recommendations, I'll defer to the Integrity Commissioner on what the proper course is for that.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, given what's just happened that will be reflected in the minutes, I think it would be appropriate for council to simply vote on receiving the report for information, and then the minutes can reflect the actions that have been taken by the mayor in terms of accepting the recommendations to avoid a vote by council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McHugh, seconded by Councillor Stedell. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
How's that? I want, Tony, Mr. Fleming, before you leave, in my statement, I want you to know that I'm saying I have faith in the Integrity Commissioner process and accept any recommendations at the discretion of, or direction of council. Thank you. Okay, and now we're at public input. Sorry?
You're right.
Public input, please.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. I stand before you once again, not entirely confident that the unanimous vote to look into the necessary repairs to 2nd Dug Hill Road will actually happen. It feels like it's being backburnered and the priorities set on widening Wooler Road. For 2 days before New Year's, I petitioned one of the subdivisions affected by this unsafe road. For 2 days before New Year's, I petitioned one of the subdivisions affected by this unsafe road. For 2 days before New Year's, I petitioned one of the subdivisions affected by this unsafe road. 50 signatures, people weeping with me, telling me how trapped they feel. When they purchased their homes, how they felt Second Dug Hill would be made safe so they could enjoy bike rides, walking their dogs, strolling their baby carriages. But their emails and phone calls to City of Quinte West went unanswered. Christmas dinner was bleak in my daughter's home. We set a place for Saren, gave thanks for our dinner, then wept as we remembered this beautiful girl. A sidewalk could have saved her. With an ongoing online petition and the paper petitions, we have over 3,000 people who want something more concrete than look into. My petition demands immediate action. We want a commitment from you that you'll break ground on a sidewalk and lighting now. Certainly, the winter has cooperated. A sidewalk could have been installed by now at much less than what the Marine wants from the budget. Taxes are being raised, and still the taxpayers aren't seeing the safe infrastructure they are entitled to. We demand action now. Thank you.
Thank you. I think what I stated a long time ago is that it's an active investigation, and that investigation is continuing. And I can tell you, is there anything more, Mr. Clazy, that we can disclose at this time?
Mr. Mayor, I don't feel there's much else we can really say at this point.
Okay. Director Angelo is certainly doing his part to look at it, and but we're
If I could just say one more thing.
Yeah.
I want to thank the members of council who are keeping this alive in the budget talks. Thank you, I really appreciate that. And you're going to keep seeing me till I see a sidewalk.
Come up to the mic. I'm hearing you, but I can't.
Well, I'm really having trouble with my voice tonight, sorry. I just wanted to thank all the councilors that are moving forward with this and see the urgency that I see. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're all doing our best, so thank you. It's not easy for you, and it's not easy for us, I can tell you that. Frank Maibu, sorry. I just...
State his name.
Yeah, right.
As a voter and a taxpayer in this municipality, I think that there's a few people that should be ashamed of their actions. I'm not speaking about the mayor in particular, but the way this whole thing was treated right from day one, when an apology wasn't accepted, and then we've gone through all this and spent thousands of dollars to try to get a resolve, and then the apology is accepted. Now all of a sudden it could have been saved. All that money could have been saved. As a taxpayer, I look at what you're going through to try to keep the increases down. There's communications coming out all the time that how much of an increase is going to happen in this municipality and a lot of other municipalities, and to throw tens of thousands of dollars around over a squabble. I'm sorry. There's more important things to do in this community. As an example, did you know that there's businesses in this town that prey on financially struggling people? They can't get credit, so they go to these places. How much interest do you think some of these people pay on their loans? Twice I've come up with people and tried to help them out. 46.9% interest on a loan for $7,300 that they're going to pay $12,000 interest on over 4.5, 5 years. And you want to talk about squabbling, about name calling, when people are struggling because they can't get credit and have to go to these places. Get these people out of town. Get reputable people in town. Those places are licensed to sell money at 60% interest. Did you even know that?
No, I didn't know that. But
60% interest is what they're allowed to, and 46.9% is the normal. And you want to go after name calling people? I'm sorry. Get your ducks in a row. Get along. And if somebody calls you a name, call them a name back. There's better things to do. Thank you.
Anyone else? Public input? No, just after.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to thank you for...
Give us your name, please.
Oh, it's Glenn Brown.
Thank you.
And I thought most of you knew me by now, but anyhow, I'd like to thank you for settling this as quickly and as honorably as you did. I believe that you've done everything in your power to keep this from escalating while others tried to blow it out of proportion. And like the previous fellow said, the amount of money we wasted, the time we wasted, you know, it's unbelievable. It's, this council has to start working together. You know, this all started back when we replaced a counselor and the process that was used was all wrong. And most of the community agrees that it was wrong, and I don't blame you.
Point of order, that's been decided. That shouldn't be talked about in public input.
Oh, okay, this is what this was all about. And this is how I understand that the mayor was upset.
Can you please stop him, Mr. Mayor? This should not be talked about in public input.
I'm not disagreeing, Glenn. I think you should stick on something else. And yes, all these decisions were made. We made on the behalf of all of us. So
our counselors need to be held to a higher standard then.
Okay.
And the counselors need to, you know, from having counselors that steal their neighbor's recycle box just to jerk them around.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public input? Come on up.
Hi there. My name's Dave Smith. I spoke with David earlier this morning. In July last summer, I went to the Works Department to get a new recycling bin. While I was there, I inquired about garbage and recycling that's picked up on only one side of our street, which is not our side. This morning, it's garbage day today, my wife, she went out before 7 o'clock as requested. It's pitch black, and while carrying garbage recycling bags, fortunately, slipped and fell on ice on the road in the middle of the street. She was lucky enough that she fell on the recycling bag and no injury. But I think it was a bullet dodge. We are the first house on the street. It's a corner. It's a blind corner. I see the cars that take that corner, and there was a moment in time she's flat on her back in the middle of the street in the dark. We have no sidewalks, no street lights. I've talked to council. I've talked to City Hall upstairs. Today, they actually, on my behalf, called, is it E360? And they just, for the second time, flatly refused. And I think there's a simple solution. It's a steering wheel in those trucks. Turn the truck down, around, and do both sides of the street. It's 300 yards long, the street. There's only 8 houses on my side. And my neighbor would appreciate it. She's an 80-year-old widow. I don't know what she does, but there's a dangerous situation, and perhaps something proactive could be done.
Give your information to Director Angelo. I'm going to rely on him investigating your situation and follow up. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Director Angelo, you okay?
I am, Your Worship. Councillor McHugh come to see me this afternoon about the incident that happened.
Okay, thank you. Joe, come on up.
Jody Cressy. First of all, I think your council will be much stronger for what I saw happen today. And I hope that continues. And I hope we just put that past us and you become stronger for it. So I'm pleased with the way you reacted. I'm pleased the way Duncan reacted tonight. So
Thank you.
Good luck. Go forward.
I'll see you at a hockey game. I'll buy you a Coke. That's as far as I go. Or a coffee, that's sure. Any more for public input? Thank you very much. We're moving on then.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, we have someone online who would like to
Oh, sorry.
to participate.
Oh,
Tessa will
go ahead.
put him through if
Go ahead.
possible.
Bob Ford or online? Go ahead. Is there any way how do we let them in, or what do we?
He might be on mute.
Yes, he's on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I too want to echo the last comments. We need a strong council, and you have been our leader for many years, both before Quinte West and since Quinte West, and now for the last 2 terms as mayor. I am proud of the way that you've handled this situation, and the acceptance of the determination. And I commend council and ask you all to please work together for a better Quinte West. We all need it during these times. Things are expensive. You need to be working on bringing down costs and keeping that budget under control, and not fighting amongst one another. So I commend you all for the direction that you've taken today, and you, Mr. Mayor, keep doing what you do. We all out here appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? Are we good? Okay, committee reports, minutes of the Accessibility Advisory Committee, resolution. I need a mover and a second for resolution. Councillor Quinte moves, seconded by Councillor Sharp, that minutes of the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting held on November 13th, 2023 be approved. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. The next one is the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee meeting held on December 21st. I need a move. Councillor Elliott, Councillor O'Neill. Any comments or questions on this one? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, no decision items. I got proclamation that the council approved that the honor of the freedom of the city be bestowed from April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025 on the members and personnel of RCAF Trenton and their veterans on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the formation of the RCAF. And further, that this honor be presented as part of the Freedom of the City Parade and annual RCAF birthday flag raising ceremony held at City Hall on Sunday, April 7th, 2024. And further, that council approve replacing the Canada flag with the RCAF blue ensign at Mount Pelion for the period of April 1st to June 30th, 2024. Okay. Councillor O'Neill and Councillor Armstrong moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Questions or comments? Anyone? All in favor? Thank you very much. It's great. We should be extremely proud, and I'm sure we are, of the fact that we are a military city. I think we are anyways, maybe. And I enjoy very much the air show that often I don't always get to see it, but most often I can hear it. Yes, Councillor Armstrong.
Is there any way we could possibly get that flag at the end to have put in the city hall as a commemorative thing, or something, a plaque or something?
Anything left of it?
Yeah,
that's
true.
the problem. But we can certainly
or something.
We can certainly do that. Yes, Mr. Clerk, put that in there so you don't forget to do it.
If you could shitty up the pole and get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, we're great, and yeah. Okay, proclamation. The council proclaimed February 11th, 2024 as 211 Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that the Quinte West sign and the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color red on February 11th, 2024, pending no scheduling conflicts. Councilor Freeman, do you want to mention anything about that? You worked hard for this 211, and you're on mute.
You're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
Thank you.
There,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
good.
have the paperwork, so I don't want to quote everything that 211 does. So I hate to speak to it, but it's a very important number, and it's there to give you ideas if there's anything you need within this area, especially for newcomers, they can call 211 and find out everything that's available to them. And if there's a specific thing they need to know, they will get help at that number, and it's toll free, and I believe 24 hours a day.
Right. Thank you. Anyone else on 211? Anyone? Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. We've got correspondence, both printed and non-printed, moved by Councillor McHugh, seconded by Councillor Card. Any questions or comments on any of the articles there? Anyone? Anyone? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And the next one is bylaws be read a first, second, and third time, and that said bylaws having now been read and passed, the mayor and clerk be designated authorized to sign. Councillor McHugh moves, seconded by Councillor Boyce. Any comments or questions on bylaws? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right. Anything under new business? Councillor Elliott first and Councillor McHugh.
Yes, just two items, Your Worship. The one item I think was partially addressed by Councillor Boyce. I would like to see an itemized statement of what this Integrity Commissioner's report is, so it can be made public and everybody can take a look at it, and hopefully that we never have to use it again. We haven't in the past, and it's unfortunate, but I congratulate the two gentlemen on their thanking one another and moving ahead. So I would just ask that, so because I know it's been out there, and I know Councillor, you've been questioned, and I've had the same question. So I would just put it out there to be put in the minutes if that's possible for staff to deal with if and when that finally comes to fruition. You get submitted the bill, please. The last thing, and I think it was something that was missed the last meeting, and I thought about it after I got out in the parking lot. But as you recall, last month we had a presentation here, the Trail of the Arrow, and they wanted support. They didn't ask for money or anything. They just wanted our recognition, and that's, I think Belleville and Prince Edward County had already done that. And so I'm going to ask now if council, and if you need to suspend the minutes, would entertain a motion to support that in principle and to give our support. So that's the only other thing I have. So I would ask the mayor, or whoever wants to, ask if we could suspend the
Mr. Clerk,
rules.
we need to suspend the rules to be able to put this forward.
Yeah, I'll take a motion to suspend the rules, please.
Councillor McHugh and Councillor Elliott.
Yep.
Okay. It's on the floor. You're making the motion?
Yes.
I'll make it, yes. Okay, and you're second. Any questions on the motion? Any comments? I'm asking. Yes.
If I could, Mr. Mayor, that presentation, I recall, and this is a vote in principle, and they didn't ask for money, but it was very interesting in terms of the walkway, the tourism, the connectivity, and just the history of the Arrow. So certainly in principle, and I'm sure we'll hear from them in the future, and I hope they're working with the Bay of Quinte tourism group, but I think it was an excellent presentation. Thank you for bringing it forward.
Good. All in favor? Carried. Okay, anything else? Councillor McHugh.
Yeah, at this time, I'd like to thank all those who gave of their time and their money. On Christmas Day, as you're aware, every year we put on a free community Christmas dinner at the Legion. There were approximately 160 people showed up for a free meal. It was a great day, and there will be a formal thank you appearing in one of the local newspapers shortly. But again, thanks to all who helped out on Christmas Day.
I know you want to thank the farmers, but you know, I find the problem with all this is that your suit doesn't button up, and neither does mine. You know, so we should obviously feed more of other people. Thank you, but yeah, great plan, great idea, carried out well. Councillor Armstrong.
Do you want to explain the levy that's coming up?
Oh, sure. Sunday.
No, it's your invitation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The levy is coming up.
10 to 2.
Sunday, 10 to 12.
Sunday,
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
This coming Sunday.
January 17th, I think, isn't it?
Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, at the arena. You're more than welcome to come, refreshments, but bring your skates. Bring your skates, not bob skates, not hand skates, skates that you're going to use, I hope. I hope mine work too. Anyways, that's coming up. Thank you very much. That's great. And we did have the reason we did it differently is that we wanted to see more families. We wanted to see more young children out, and that's what we're doing, and they are there. So, and the Hawks will be there, so if you're worried about falling down, they'll be glad to help you up. So, and they're capable of doing that. Yes, they are. Councilor McHugh.
One last thing, if I could. I know we thank the fire department out here for all they do, but all emergency measure people, especially over Christmas time. And I want to thank all those that volunteered, a bunch of council, a bunch of city staff for Red Nose. But I want to give a thank you out to the ambulance attendants and through Inspector Reeve to all the OPP. I didn't actually see a ride program out there, but I didn't see any problems out there either over the Christmas holidays. So obviously, you're doing a great job. So thank you for that again. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I believe it's this coming Sunday, the 14th, in case. I thought you said 17th, so that's why I just want to make sure that it's the 14th, which is this coming Sunday is the event. I hope you can come. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you to all of my fellow councilors and the senior management team here at the City of Quinte West. Our budget process was incredibly challenging and incredibly interesting. And so I wanted to take the time to say thank you to Mr. Denowden, Ms. Grimman, Mr. Angelo, Mr. Jardine, Mr. Johnson, and Ms. Coxwell-Duncan, as well as CAO Clazy for all of their efforts to answer all of our questions and try to educate us on why we should do this, that, or the other thing. We have many challenges, but we also have a beautiful city with lots of great opportunities. And all of us participated as best we could. I believe our attendance for the council members was probably 95%, if not more, in regards to the attendance for these sessions. So thanks very much, and thank you to the citizens who have lots of questions. You're certainly welcome to email us or give us a call. Our phone numbers and email addresses are available on the city website, and hope to hear from you. And let's move forward. Thank you very much.
Yep. Councilor Stedall.
Just a reminder, because we won't be back together again before the Roma conference is coming up, and we have at least one delegation with Minister of Health, I believe, in regards to trying to assist us with future costs. So looking forward to that and seeing what is going to come forward.
Do we have any other CAO, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we have the one delegation with Ministry of Health, and we have received confirmation that we're also going to have a video meeting with the Deputy Minister of Infrastructure after Roma. There wasn't any available at Roma, but it's a date early in February, which I'll share with the members of council to have a virtual meeting with the Deputy Minister of Finance, or of Infrastructure, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. Coming this way. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The meeting with the Minister of Infrastructure, we never got any money from him from any other meetings. Hopefully we can get some this time.
We'll at least ask, right?
Write out the check for him, and then he just needs to sign it.
And you need, if you have time, reach out to Ryan Williams or Mark Gerritsen regarding our marina. Reach out to them as well. Councillor McHugh. No, Councillor Elliott. I'm sorry.
Yes. I can't hold it. I've already said my piece.
Who had their hand up?
Mike. Just ask them if they have anything.
Anything, Mike or Councillor Freeman or Councillor Reed? Anything?
Nothing for me, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Likewise.
Councillor Kosovas? No. You good? Councillor Card? Councillor? Thank you very much. We need 2 for adjournment. Anything over here? Great. That's good. We must have asked because they didn't say anything, right? I second adjournment. Councillor Card, McHugh. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.